Hey everybody, welcome to another hobby break video. This is the fourth and last terrain video that I'm posting today. There will be links to all the other videos at the bottom of this video as well. Today's going to be a short and sweet one. Now I'm going to talk about this thing called Project Bricks from Creatology. Now Creatology has a lot of different products that they have, like 3D puzzles and wood, kind of crafty things that they do, and then do colored pencil sets and all that stuff. I find this at Michael's. Now typically this is about $14.95, but I did find it for a coupon. I got a coupon and I got it for 10 bucks. So this comes with 285 of these bricks. And you can see sort of an example there of something that they can do. So you have 285 of these bricks. Now these bricks are more than just bricks. So let's jump in and take a look at what they can do. So quickly before I jump into how you can manipulate these different bricks, I want to kind of show you two projects at different stages. So this one is pretty much done here, and I threw some figures in there just to be kind of cute about it. So I built this sort of, brick ruins. I added some flocking sort of as moss there. I did something to the ground. Now this is mounted on a foam core, and you can see I've gone ahead and painted these bricks like so. So this is just a simple one. This is the first one I did. I wasn't really sure, how I was going to exactly work with it. I read up a little bit about it, but of course it's always better to try. Now I've got something a little bit more interesting, and this is in progress, and I just actually glued this together tonight. You can see I've got little round bricks, flat ones, shaped them in different ways, kind of scattered them around. I've got some that I've actually cut in half. And so this is also going to be ruins. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with the base. I kind of left sort of like an entrance here or something. I may just kind of chop that off. But this is one that I've glued. But let's go back even further in time. And we're going to go ahead and dump out some bricks here from this box. And you're just going to go ahead and grab them out. And these are not all perfectly the same size or anything. You might have a couple that are smashed. I looked through most of these. So one thing that you can do with these is you can just pinch them. And you can shrink them down like so. So I did that like there, and you can tear them apart and so on. Now you can also take an X-Acto knife like this, and then I can cut this in half. So I got my cutting board here, and so I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of cut that ever so slightly and just kind of break it there. So now I've got two little half bricks. Awesome. Now the other thing I could do is I could maybe not pinch it like a crazy person like I did this one, and just kind of mash them down slightly. And the last thing you can do, this is a really cool thing, is you can actually roll these into sort of like cylinders. So if I go like this to get started with my hands, I'm just going to do like this. Just kind of get it going like that. You can see little flakes of it probably jumping off. So it makes a little bit of a mess when you do this. Takes a little bit of oomph there. So I've kind of flattened it out just a little bit. And then what you want to do, I'm going to move a little bit of stuff so I don't ruin anything that I've done. This might be a little bit noisy, but I'm going to take a hard surface like this, and it's a little bit tricky because sometimes it slides. So let's just do a little bit here, a little bit more like that. And kind of an awkward angle here. So I got it a little bit more round there, and I could probably get it more round, but I don't want to annoy too many people on the video. So you can do that. You can see some examples here on this one. Like I said there, I've got those little columns there. So these are very malleable and manipulative bricks. It's kind of a different kind of styrofoam that you've got here, but it's very, very sturdy. Like I'm putting a little bit of pressure on it here, and it's not, I've got to put a good amount of pressure in it to, squish it and tear it and all that kind of stuff. So they are pretty stable. Now, like I said, here's the first one I did. I just kind of stacked these up basically, and then I glued them together. So the glue that I use, it does recommend a Tacky Glue. So I showed this in one of my previous videos here. This is the Lean's Tacky Glue. It kind of acts as a PVA. Now it does take a bit for this to dry. So like this one I said I did earlier tonight, I am not going to touch this other than to actually do like a 50% water, 50% glue mix, and just kind of slightly coat this. This has been drying, maybe about 2 hours now. And so it's pretty firm, but if I went and knocked it, if I went and knocked any of these, they probably would fall apart. But this one for sure is still a little bit wiggly if you gave it any kind of, extreme pressure. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of coat this with the 50% water, 50% glue. And what that does is this is going to seal it, okay? And I go ahead and just pour the glue into a container like this with this ratty old brush. And then I will glue you know, both sides of the brick. So there's a little bit of glue on top of this brick, and there's glue all along the bottom of that brick, and then I squeeze them together, and then over time, about 24 hours it takes, and then it'll be nice and sturdy at that point. And you have the, you know, these kind of, you can kind of see it wiggle a little bit there. Like this won't be as wiggly anymore. So you can do these kind of precarious edges and things. So once I coat this with that kind of half water, half glue mix, that's also going to act as a way, it's almost like a primer, and it seals it. And then from there, I can go in and I can paint with, what I do is I paint, at least what I did with this one, I painted this in solid black. So I went in with the same brush, the same ratty brush, and then I gave it a nice solid coat of black, and then let that dry overnight. And then I went back in with a coat of the steel gray, like this, and I just kind of dabbed it on. And then I went over and I kind of did sort of like a little bit of a dry brushing action here. And then I painted some of these brown, so I just got a normal kind of, let's see here, this is the real brown. Now you can see I'm using folk art, and I know I do mention that I use that, you know, when I paint my miniatures as well, but this kind of cheaper acrylic paint is great for, you know, painting pieces of terrain and stuff. So I just kind of have some little different coloration there on the different bricks. And then I went ahead and used some flocking here. This is the particular flocking I use as Citadel grass. It doesn't really matter what you use, but if you've not done it before, you just kind of put a little bit of glue on it and then sprinkle the flocking on, and then knock it and dust it, or flake it off right back into the box so you don't lose any. And then this will stay on there pretty good, and it's a nice little fuzzy texture there. Now at the bottom of this, on top of the foam core base, I put this stuff, which is really cool, which I've done a little bit of basing with this. Now this is Liquitex Resin Sand. This is tricky to find. I like it because it has a nice sort of natural swirling texture. You can take a look at it here. You actually just kind of paint it on, and it's got sort of a goopy kind of thing. So you just kind of goop it on there and then kind of smush it and dab it around just to kind of make it look kind of organic. But you could use something like this, and I know I talked about it in a previous video, but I didn't show it. This is from Army Painter, their Battlefields. This is just like a little black rock. So you can do anything really with this. You can see I put a little bit of kind of flocking moss on there, but I just kind of textured up the base a little bit. So these are great little kind of brick runes that you can do, and you can get super creative, you know, with this. You can see this really kind of your imagination, and then also the sort of stability is really your limit there. And the other nice thing about doing these is, I mean, instead of just doing like terrain on a battlefield, you could build like a dungeon. So you could build like little kind of dwarven forge types of things. So you can see once I get this painted and stuff, this could be like little tunnels, and you could build like a modular dungeon, and then you can reuse these pieces in different ways and really scale it up. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I think I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but this is a great thing. And like I said, I got it for just over 10 bucks with the coupon, and was fantastic. And you get so many, look at all those bricks. I even made a dent in that box, and I still have 2 pieces out of that. There's all kinds of stuff in here. So they do have extra different colored bricks. There's some darker red ones, I think. So I think those are only 2 colors you can get. This kind of Wheat Bix, if you're familiar with that cereal. Probably not if you're in the US, but little Wheat Bix bricks. And then also kind of the darker red, more burgundy bricks. So anyway, that's the last of these videos. And definitely check all the videos for links to other terrain YouTube channels and such like that. I always like to link that stuff in there. So, okay, thanks.